Agenda is public hearings. The first item will be the Bay Street easement relocation.
Good evening, Chair, Cardos, and Commission members. So the first item is the Bay Street easement relocation. Excuse me. In September of '99, the Bay Street PUD PDP was approved by the council, and that approval included a hotel and 2 retail pads that were not built as part of the Bay Street residential retail entertainment project. One of the retail pads subsequently at the south end was constructed in 2009, and that's the West Elm Furniture Store. And the second retail pad was sited at the northwest corner of Christie Avenue and Bay Street, and the hotel was sited at the northwest corner as well. As part of the PUD PDP approval, a final map was recorded in September of 2002 that included a vehicular public access easement so that the Bay Street could be extended northwards and separate the retail pad from the hotel pad. So if you recall, this is the Bay Street residential and retail development, and these are the 2 pads, the hotel pad, which the Commission approved for a Hyatt Place Hotel last month, and this is the future retail pad. And the access easement that exists goes through here. And you'll look at some more graphics in a little bit. So on April, like I mentioned last month, the Commission approved Hyatt Place Hotel as part of the project, and the hotel pad was marginally decreased so that the future Bay Street extension would line up to the current alignment, and that all the drop-off activities would occur on the private property and not on the future street extension. The existing 26 feet wide public easement runs north-south between Christie Avenue and the southern property line of Site B. And the proposal is to relocate this easement 13 feet east of the existing location, with the width and the length remaining unchanged. The reason for the modification is so that the future Bay Street extension lines up with the existing Bay Street south of Christie Avenue, so that the intersection of Christie and Bay Street will not be offset as it is right now. So this kind of tells you this is what the existing is. So Shell Mount is at the bottom, railroad tracks is at the top, and you have Christie Avenue on the side. So this is what the Bay Street easement is right now, and what is being proposed is moving it east by about 13 feet in order to line up with the Bay Street, and this is the easternmost line of the existing Bay Street. So that gives you an idea of what is happening here. In order for this relocation to occur, a modification of the final map needs to be made, and planning regulations allow the Commission to make such modifications provided that certain findings are made, and these are the various findings that need to be made. The staff believes that these findings can be made, and they've been explained and outlined both in the staff report as well as the resolution. That concludes my presentation, and our recommendation is to approve the project subject to the conditions of approval. And the conditions of approval are pretty standard. There are no special conditions that go with the specific relocation of the easement. Cedric is here from the Madison Market if you have any questions from him. Otherwise, he does not have a presentation for you.
I have a couple questions. Mm-hmm. What's driving the width of the easement? I know it was 26 feet to begin with, but why? How was that chosen?
You know, that aligns with the existing Bay Street. So
is there an easement through Bay Street that's also 26 feet?
That is correct. That is correct. So it's just continuation of that road, so to speak.
Okay. And so that on the Bay Street side right now, that encompasses the curb-to-curb width?
Yes, yes. And the sidewalks are private.
Okay. And then this This proposal doesn't modify the existing parcel lines, right? It's just moving, so what it's really doing is just moving the easement almost entirely onto the one parcel, correct?
It's moving it eastwards by 13 feet here.
It is entirely, would be moving
Enti-
entirely onto the other
Okay.
parcel.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it does not affect the property lines of the two parcels.
Right.
It used to be split half and half between the two parcels. Now it's moving east, so it's entirely on one parcel and not on the other one.
Are we aware of any plans for the lot to the north and access through that lot?
No, we do not have any proposal for that site.
That, the so-called Site B, that is tied up in our long-range property management plan, which has been sent to the state, and we're just waiting for them to respond.
And just so that you know, the retail pad, we don't have any plans for that either, to the north.
And this is a public access easement, right? So it would preserve public access to that parcel
Correct.
through this parcel?
Correct.
And does that include pedestrian access as well?
Yes, it would. So vehicular and pedestrian access. Whether how it actually gets configured, it'll depend on when the retail pad to the north gets developed.
Any further questions from Orion? Thank you. Does the applicant wish to speak?
No.
Okay. We'll open the meeting to the public. Does any member of the public wish to speak? Close the public meeting. Any discussion? Have a motion to approve?
I move approval.
I would second.
I have one question. Previously, we spoke about the sidewalk issue, and I don't know, were we thinking about trying to figure out a way to widen that sidewalk on the other side as some
They did.
portion?
They agreed to
Was
do
that,
it.
was that agreed to?
You're
Okay.
talking about
That's
the
part
pinch,
of the
the pinch
condition of
point?
approval
Yeah,
of the
that's
hotel.
taken care of, and it's.
That's on Christie.
Yeah.
Right. That's
but
part of the hotel
Were you thinking
approval.
of the, I don't know, we talked about, you're talking about this
The
sidewalk here or the
the
pinch point?
pinch point.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
I guess I have one more question before we vote for staff, and that is, so this easement is 26 feet wide, which on the other side of the street, the existing condition is that's 26 feet of curb to curb width. So that's all travel lanes. So even though it's a pedestrian and vehicular access easement, I'm curious sort of how that functions, because it seems like the existing condition on the other side doesn't really allow, I mean, even though the easement allows for pedestrians, the existing conditions don't really within the easement, right? It's just, you're standing in the middle of the street if you're trying to use the easement as access down Bay Street, so.
All approved developments on this, under the PUD, include a sidewalk being built outside of the easement.
And it would have to meet the design guidelines of the city for those sidewalks.
Right, I'm just, I just want to make sure that we're not really ensuring pedestrian access with this easement, I don't think, because this easement, the entire width of this easement is going to be used for vehicular access, so.
But they couldn't get approval for anything without putting the sidewalk in.
Well, you have, at your last meeting, approved basically the sidewalk on the east side of this easement. So the only outstanding question is, what does the sidewalk look like on the west side at the retail pad?
And so, the approvals that we granted at our last, at whatever meeting that was, would ensure that those sidewalks remained for pedestrian access through to the other site?
Yeah,
Right, yes.
that's the way they
Okay.
were designed.
So are you more concerned about access or about the public speech implications?
Access.
Yeah, I think we're covered on access.
Right. So if you can hold that thought until the retail pad comes to you, and who knows how long that will be, but, we will have another opportunity to look at the sidewalk on the west side when the retail pad comes to you.
Do we have a motion? We had a
There was.
motion and a second.
Yes, you have a motion by Commissioner Tan and a second by Commissioner Keller.
We have a roll call or vote, please.
All right. Commissioner Donaldson?
Aye.
Commissioner Gunkel?
Aye.
Commissioner Keller?
Aye.
Commissioner Coomerly?
Aye.
Commissioner Tan?
Aye.
Vice Chair Moss?
Aye.
And Chair Cardoza?
Aye.
7 ayes, the application is approved. This decision may be appealed to the City Council within 15 days.
Next item